initiative. They started small and look at now. All are giving, as you said, less bureaucracy. The new generation can establish and go ahead.
Not to mention the tycoons, the big merchants in the whole world. I don't think they will allow any small business to establish itself unless they pay some fees.
But
Go ahead.
yes, in many countries, 40% to 80% are small and medium-sized business. You have the big companies, but still the portion at least are medium-sized and small business.
Mr. Saleh, you want to say something? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, exactly. You know, where we're trying to target is the skills. The problem with skills that you cannot replicate it. It's owned by someone. Someone has been trying to polish it. Someone is trying to increase his skills in a specific part of, in a specific area, in a specific field. So the skills is the actual power of business. So when you see, for example, when you find someone who's really good in art and he could build something, actually even the big businesses, they cannot like replicate him, because what they need his mind, they need his expertise, they need his talent, you know, and that's what we're trying to teach the youth here. So if someone has a really good skill, he shouldn't be scared. He should start his own business, you know, because people will come to his skill, you know. Even in the Maker Fair, we found out a lot of big companies, a lot of people, they were over there doing headhunt. That means they're coming, they're seeing people with talent, and they just try to give them a contract on spot, you know, like join us and you will have this and this salary.
Okay, Mr. Saleh, briefly, what's your future plans and what exactly you want to do for the state of Kuwait?
Well, our plan is, first of all, to have the Maker Fair every year in February. So it will be an attraction of Kuwait. So anybody who comes out of Kuwait, visit Kuwait, he will know where to go to see talented Kuwaiti people. What I mean by talented, sorry, I'm not saying talented Kuwaiti, but talented citizens of Kuwait. Okay, so it's open to everyone. That's the first thing. The second thing, we're establishing right now something called Makers Academy. It's the academy where the talented people now, they share their talent, they share their skills with others to increase the population of talented and creative people in society. So first of all, they will help them to build a bigger project for the next Maker Fair, and also they will teach those kids, those people, those teenagers, how to have the same talent and the same. We're trying to build a community.
I know that. Mr. Saleh, best of luck, and I hope to meet you once again when you have more good news about the whole thing that you mentioned earlier. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now the state of Kuwait, the government of the state of Kuwait has a vision, and they call it the new vision of state of Kuwait, and it's going to start. It started a long time ago, but now it's starting stronger and bigger. From your own point of view, what do you think that the government need to do with collaborating with not only the private sector, the neighboring countries?
Well, as you said, first internally, they have to work with the National Assembly or the Parliament.
Yes.
To pass laws using the forms and the registration and so on. And then on the larger side is the regional cooperation. We have, for instance, planned to have the railroads. So we have so many things in common.
What about the infrastructure? You mentioned something about the state of Kuwait that has a good and wonderful infrastructure, such as building new hospitals like Jabir Hospital, and you have all the bridges, and you have the biggest bridges that's going to connect Kuwait land and also BEHBEHANI Island. Tell us about that.
Well, we're gonna have this Al Jaber bridge.
Like the one we have on the air right now? Now,
Yes.
this is the hospital. Jaber Hospital.
Hospital is done. It's just you have to staff it and start. It's very one of the biggest hospitals.
In the Middle East?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It's huge.
And also the bridges is also. So we have this, but as I said, it's how to run. We need people.
I read something about that. They are going to bring a new crew somewhere from Europe, like London. They mentioned something like that.
Yes.
Other reports, they mentioned something like from United States, huge and prestigious hospitals are going to be in control of the Jaber Hospital. Is it true or not?
Yes, but this is important at the beginning. But also we have to have the Kuwaitis also be trained, and a lot of opportunities are there. They can give some small business a chance, like in the cafeterias, other small things. They should give this business to the small companies.
Mr. Ambassador, do you love museums?
Yes, we do. We do.
Do you have lots of museums back home?
With a British background, yes, we like to preserve our
And
history.
here in the
our
state of
record.
Kuwait, we have one of the best, and we call it Sheikh Abdullah Salam Museum. You want to look at it?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
let's watch it together and come back with us.
مشروع مركز عبد الله السالم الثقافي على شارع الخليج العربي، ومن ناحية ثانية يطل على منطقة ميدان حولي، وهو مقر في ثانوية عبد الله السالم سابقا. مساحة المشروع هي 127 ألف متر مربع، والمساحة الكلية للبناء هي 130 ألف متر مربع. فكرة المشروع هو عبارة عن متاحف أو صالات عرض راح تكون، يتكون من 8 مباني. راح تكون هي المتاحف الأساسية أو المكونات الأساسية للمشروع، بالإضافة إلى موقفين للسيارات، موقف شرقي وموقف غربي راح يكونون بالسرداب تحت الأرض، بالإضافة إلى مبنى إداري ومسرح. المشروع يتكون من 8 مباني، عبارة عن المباني طبعا تقسمت A و B و C و D و E و F و G و H. المباني عبارة عن متحف التاريخ الطبيعي ومتحف العلوم ومتحف الفضاء، متحف الفنون الإسلامية الجميلة، وعندنا مبنى إداري وعندنا مسرح، بالإضافة إلى مواقف السيارات راح تكون تحت الأرض، تتسع تقريبا حق 1233 سيارة. بالإضافة عندنا 4 محطات للكهرباء. المشاريع اللي احنا ماسكينها هي بناء على أوامر صاحب السمو، لأن بالكويت نفتقر إلى الأماكن السياحية ونفتقر إلى المراكز الثقافية، فمن هنا الفكرة إلى إنشاء هذا المركز الثقافي. وإن شاء الله يعني هو بالنسبة عالميا راح يكون كأكبر مساحات عرض، ما راح نقول الأكبر مساحة الأرض، لا كمساحة للمعروضات هو الأول من نوعه في العالم. طبعا بالإضافة أن في وايد شرايح بالمجتمع راح تستفيد منه. عندنا الطلبة، طلبة المدارس وزارة التربية، بالإضافة إلى العائلات يقدرون يزورونه، بالإضافة إلى راح يكون معلم سياحي كبير الناس يعني راح تتجه له إن شاء الله بالمستقبل.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, I believe that you have enjoyed the report about the museum. But going back to Mr. Mustafa, you want to say something? You said it to me before and during the last segment. What was it? Let's share it with the public.
Yes, what we think we have to be honest that we were the leaders many
You
things.
mean Kuwait?
Kuwait.
Yeah.
I did my dissertation. From that, from the interviews with business people, we had obstacles. And unfortunately, Emirates, especially
United
Dubai,
Arab Emirates.
and yes, and the Qatar,
Uh-huh.
they copied the Kuwait and they advance. So we have to realize they are advanced. Now 3 countries in Pacific, UAE and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So at least we have to catch up first, catch up with them. When I say infrastructure, like the airports, and these are the must for the economy, the roads, the trains. That's one stage. Second stage, we have to do ease of business, like as I said, the bureaucracy, and then we can also have some things with them, like railroads. We are part of the GCC, so we have to do big project with them, and so it takes time. We are behind.
We have all the time in the world, honestly, Mr. BEHBEHANI, to see anything, any small
But time is money.
light at the end of the tunnel. I know time is money, but
Yeah.
cannot help it.
Oh, yeah, but I think there is a change, as I said.
Let's bring to Mr. Ambassador and the manpower that your country has. Are you going to share the manpower with the GCC countries?
Guyana is a small country. 800,000 citizens reside in Guyana, but by virtue of the unemployment situation, 1.5 million is in New York, all the big cities. All the educated Guyanese are around the world. And as Guyana's oil will be coming on stream, part of the agreement we have with ExxonMobil and Hess, at least 20% must be for Guyana. Local businesses, women, youths must be set aside for them. And part of skills transfer is written in the agreement. And we are told from authoritative sources we will be getting the highest percentage ever in the history of the oil industry, El Mundo. So that means we have learned from others around the world, and we must have good prospects. That's why Exxon is spending $6 billion US for the exploration.
Exploration and excavation
And
about oil.
Oil and gas.
And
wanna say
also,
something?
education is very important. We're very high level in education, because now the world is changing. You see the social media, how is effective you can do business through social media. So I think next 5 years are crucial to the Kuwait development.
Okay. Now the director is telling me that we are going to give you a small report, a break, and then come back with you because we have more to cover regarding the private sector. Come back with us. Okay. Now, that was wonderful. We have witnessed lots of improvements in about the buildings in the state of Kuwait, the infrastructure and stuff like that. But going back to you, Mr. BEHBEHANI, we were talking about something really interesting here about sharing all the views with our neighboring countries, the GCC countries. You mentioned about Qatar and also United Arab Emirates, and the oil, production of oil, all of these elements. They have to have something about the rise of the vision of the state of Kuwait.
Well, as you said, we depend heavily on oil. So one of the areas we should change is to go gradually to variety sector. Now, the oil also from the WAPIC, the Gulf, especially Saudi Arabia, with sister companies,
Yes.
Kuwait, they can affect the price of oil.
They can.
Yes. Saudi Arabia is one of the ones because they influence the GCC.
Yes.
So they can also control some of the prices with Russia. Both they are doing it now. The oil went to up to 20s and then came back to 50s. So if they agree, the WAPIC with Russia, they can go back to 65.
They can do that.
They can do that. The other
That
thing
would help the Guyana people. How about that?
Yep.
That would
Well,
help you.
By the time the oil comes, yes. Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, right now, Guyana oil, we're deciding, depending on the price, whether we should have a refinery or it's better off to have the oil processed at another refinery, depending on the price of oil. But as an international financial expert, I personally do see great dangers, because in the U.S., if the Alaskan oil comes on stream, and if shale oils maximize, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. There will be greater supply, and unless there's enough economic demand, the prices are not going to be where it is today. So good, smart, strategic business people have to think strategically, not knowing which way the big United States under the leadership will go on oil. And don't forget, the new president is an infrastructure expert.
I know.
And what everybody talks about Singapore as a model. What is the model for Singapore? Education, infrastructure, and quality of life. No rocket scientists.
Nope.
No resources, but look at it.
I know that.
Why we do
Not
not
only that,
learn.
look at Japan. They had nothing.
You go on and on.
They are the leader of the world.
Right.
Mr. BEHBEHANI and also Mr. Ambassador, it's a pleasure to have you here, honestly. Any final
Thank
thoughts
you.
quickly, please?
Yes, well, I think we have to be optimistic. We know that
Optimism is the best thing in the world. Can
Yes.
you do it?
one of the areas is where our group want to establish with Latin America. I think a lot of projects. And then we're going to have a conference on the 14th of March at the Bahrain
Next month.
Library.
Yes.
You will see all the examples of different countries in Latin America and how to cooperate with Kuwait.
That's wonderful. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us. Mr. BEHBEHANI, welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was all the information that we need to give you. Hope that we gave you the best thing in the world. Come back again next week, same time, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night.